Hey, welcome to G Vibes. It's your girl G9 in the building. I got my girl today. Say your name, say your Instagram.
What up, what up? Hey, G Vibes.
Hi, hi.
Thanks for having me.
I love it.
My name is Aya Hackett. I'm Aya. Hey, y'all.
I love her. Let me tell you something. I feel like she came here to my show when I was at the radio 2 years ago, 2000. That was 3 years ago, 2019. No, 2020.
It was 3. I think it was.
Oh, 3.
It was before. It was before COVID and
everything. Before that was even thought of.
Yeah.
I just want to say she is so amazing. She's so sweet. She been giving me ideas on the mixer that I told y'all about, y'all. I'm having a woman's mixer, so make sure you tune in every week so I can tell you little by little what's going on. Anyway, make story short, I love her. So
I love you.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I was like, wait a minute. When you hit me up, I was like, of course I'm about to come back to the podcast because I had so much fun doing that and just talking to you because you know, your energy is everything, and that's why you do what you do. So,
yes.
Of course, I got to come support.
And when I seen that you had your license and stuff now.
Oh, right, because last time I came, I wasn't licensed yet. I was just in the trenches trying to make it happen.
Now, everybody probably like, what's she licensed for? What you licensed for? What your license is, girl?
Well, I am a licensed clinical social worker, aka psychotherapist. So I'm a clinical therapist in the mental health field. I work with everybody, every range of age you can think of, from kids to adults, young adults, older adults, all different populations, diversities, and everything. So yeah, that's what I've been doing for the last 5 to 6 years. So I'm currently licensed, so I'm excited.
You know what?
Yeah.
Check her out. Let's clap for her right now.
Thank you.
My claps are not working on my recorder, so y'all,
It's all good.
it's claps for her, okay?
Thank you.
I'm just proud of our women. We out here doing it.
Man, women.
When I say she does photos.
Oh.
She's a photographer.
Yes. We actually had a photo shoot.
My very first one. And let me tell you something, y'all. I didn't know what to do.
Photo shoot. And it was so much fun. But she killed it, though. We was in Inglewood.
Inglewood, always into no good.
We hit up all the, just all the spots in Inglewood. The Forum, Market Street, Randy's Donuts.
Yes.
Just to kind of represent for the city.
And Kobe had just passed.
Kobe had just passed because you had the Lakers Kobe shirt on. We had to show love to Kobe. So yeah, that was a really fun photo shoot. I do photography as well, so I'll drop that towards the end if y'all want.
Yeah, she's gonna drop all of that too, the info.
Try to be a jack of all trades. Just trying to have my hand in a couple of things just to, make it fun. But honestly, I feel like photography is like my creative outlet. I feel like everybody should have that, especially being a mental health therapist. It's a lot of work mentally, so that's like my coping mechanism. That's like my outlet to get creative and have fun and, get my mind off of some things. And so I would say photography has been like my coping mechanism, creative outlet.
Do you feel like everyone need one? Everyone needs a coping
Most
moment?
Definitely. And it could be anything. It could be painting, just something to have fun with, something that you don't have to think so much about. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, when we have a lot of work, we work a lot, and sometimes we have to just focus on, structure and this and logistics of stuff. But if you can just find something to have fun with, and it's your baby, it's what you can do what you want to do with it. That's amazing. It's a great feeling. So I definitely think everybody should have a creative outlet, whatever that may look like.
Yeah, because I think podcasting should be that's mine.
That's yours. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Definitely yours.
Look, I'm trying to think because it's a job. It feel like.
It is, but it's fun, right?
Yeah, and I love to do it.
And you get really creative with it. Like you get creative with like your guests, your topics.
Yes, the games you play.
The games, everything. Yeah. So the outlet, it can start to, if you get really good at it can probably end up turning into another right? But it's still fun. So I think everybody should definitely figure out what they can do to be creative,
Yeah.
It could be cooking.
Yeah.
If y'all like to whip it up, that could be a creative outlet. Find you some recipes.
Go on YouTube.
TikTok, Pinterest, and create a nice little dish that you were thinking about. You know?
Yeah, I've been learning how to cook a lot because my boyfriend like we ain't eating out every day, so I've been learning. You know how man be like,
it adds up.
You know, groceries is like a bill to me now.
You know, especially with this inflation, girl. Why is pork bacon like $15?
Hey, somebody told me that. Somebody told me that bacon is so high.
It's like literally $15. And one day I seen it, I thought I was tripping. I'm like, I do not remember
bacon being
this high. But I think, you know, they have a couple of off brands that's a little cheaper, but
now we gonna say off brands. That's like getting the Shasta. Right. You know, like
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What is something since the pandemic have you been like that? Did the pandemic change your thinking process on how you feel about your work, being a mental health therapist and stuff like that? Now it's like, damn, I'm gonna probably get people in here that suffer from those type of issues, being in a pandemic, being isolated. Have you experienced something like that with yourself and with others?
I was gonna say, honestly, for myself, I felt like I, struggled mentally as well. And so I think during, I would say honestly, when the pandemic hit, I had to take some time off of work. Mentally for my mental health because I was, doing therapy all day and I was realizing that I wasn't taking care of myself mentally. So I had to take some time off to get my mind right because I was like, I can't service, my clients if I'm not there. And just everybody knows when that pandemic lockdown hit, it was like, what is going on? We didn't know what the next step was going to be. We didn't know.
We was
when it was
irritated.
We were scared.
Yes. We didn't know what was next.
We were scared. Seeing all the people in the grocery stores, it was scary.
Just seeing all that it wasn't
it was just nobody on the streets. All the businesses locked down. So yeah, with that said, even with my clients, they struggled a lot. I literally worked the whole pandemic doing therapy. I had teenagers battling with depression, anxiety. They're not at school.
Yeah, how was that?
Not working.
Yeah,
that was a lot. Especially because that's like a social norm for them to like go to school, hang out with their friends. That's like a prime time in their life to figure out who they are. And figure out what friend group do I hang out with, or where do I fit in at, and I want to play I want to do sports, I want to do clubs and all these different things, and so all that was like ripped away from them. And so they struggled a lot, and I had to really work with them through that. I had clients, adults who lost their jobs, so they're struggling financially, so trying to help them cope with that and figure out ways to get over those humps. So yeah, it was a lot for me, for my clients. I looked at it as like an eye opener. No, it's okay. I looked at it as a eye opener that we can't take life for granted because these things can be ripped certain things can be ripped from us when we least expect it. So we have to be grateful and just live life.
Yes.
So it was crazy.
Is it something that you experienced during COVID time that told you, okay, I can't do this anymore? Did you suffer from any of those issues just as much as the other people?
Like doing therapy or doing?
No, just living life in general. Like, because you said you had to take a break.
Yeah.
What is something that you did that said, I need to take a break? Was it a trigger of COVID, or was it like something that you were extremely doing a lot and you realized like, no, I need to take a break for myself because I feel like I'm going down the spiral?
I think it was just feeling drained, like overwhelmed, because just hearing everybody's stories throughout the day, and then not only hearing their stories, but literally getting to the point of realizing that like, okay, this is a job that I'm dealing with people's life, so I have to make sure that I'm telling them something that can really help and not just some BS, right? And so that pressure, it was a lot of pressure to be like, okay, I have this person I got to see, and they're telling me that maybe they're suicidal, or they thought about it, or something else has happened, or a family member died, so it was just a lot to take in when I mentally wasn't
there
all the way there either. And so I just felt like if I needed that mental break, I think everybody deserves a mental break. Like even if it's just a mental health day from work, take your day off.
Man, call off, sis.
If you need to, I think we all are granted that mental health day because, you know, we're human and stuff happens.
And I'm glad that you are honest right now because, you know, some people act like they have it all. And it's okay that you're normal. You're a normal person walking up and down the street. It's okay that you feel the way you feel.
Right.
I think that this generation has proven that we can feel. Like, you know, and I had that question for you. Is do you feel like this generation now is being more open about their mental health issues and what they are going through and what they are feeling? Do you see that more now?
Most definitely. I think this generation has been talking about mental health more even before the pandemic hit. Because, I mean, of course, we all know once the pandemic hit, it was like mental health.
Yeah.
What's going on? We got to take care of ourselves. We got to do this. But even prior to that, I feel like because this generation is so advanced when it comes to certain things, like they have access to so many different things. And then we just see it now in like music. A lot of artists talk about mental health.
Yeah,
they talk about normalizing going to therapy,
and they understand it.
And they understand it because they talk about their own
issues
and like, oh, I went to therapy. I did this, and so these are people that people look up to. So they're like, oh, well, you know, they didn't. It shouldn't be too bad.
It's okay to feel.
It's okay to feel. You know, it's okay to feel, and I definitely think, you know, just it's talked about more in organizations like jobs. I work in a school, so it's like we talk about it a lot with the kids in the school. So I definitely would say that this generation talks about it more. Now, is there still a stigma around it? Yes. I think that even though it's talked about, there's still a stigma around mental health. And
what is that stigma, you think?
I think it's just, again, it's that label of, you know, that person's crazy or something's wrong with them. And then a lot of times I've noticed that some people are afraid to go to therapy because they don't want to bring out those skeletons in the closet. They don't want to talk about trauma or secrets, and they just want to like bury it. So they just kind of like
push it under the rug.
But I think the stigma definitely comes from generational issues. Like, you know, for example, now if I talk to someone and I'm like referring them to therapy, you know, their family or their parents who's older, they might be like, no,
I don't need that.
They're okay. We can handle it at home.
My mama says it all the time. She's like, you going to therapy for what? Who hurt you?
They be like, just pray. And it's like, yes, pray. I'm all about that. But sometimes it is good to just kind of have that space to talk about these issues and not let it continue to go generation to generation.
Yes.
And it become like, you know, these generational curses, patterns, you know, whatever we want to label them as, because of the disconnect or the fear of these things coming out, you know,
right?
So, or being labeled. So I definitely think it's talked about more in our generation, but it's still a little stigma around it, though, a little bit for sure.
What are some challenges you have faced? Now so it's Mental Health Month.
Yes. Hey, happy Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah, Awareness Month, yes. That's why I really brought you on the show, too, because it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I want people to know how important it is to get your mental health together, because we've been seeing a lot of women, a lot of women and men suffering from mental health illness, and we've been seeing a lot of young women dying of suicide because of it, leaving notes. Like the pageant girl.
I saw that, yeah.
And the cheerleader girl. It's so many people. And I said that to say this. These are the people we are seeing.
Every day. It's
more people than that. That is suffering from mental health issues. Even that cousin, sister, brother in our culture that we would call the crackhead, and they ain't got it together and they crazy, and that they have those mental issues. And I feel like now we are seeing that, dang, these people really had problems. And we used to give them all these names, and these people really had issues that they just needed help.
Yes.
They just needed someone to talk to. Maybe they needed medicine for a while, but we took it and we was like, we shined them off because of how they acted and not tried to get it together. So now, as a Mental Health Awareness Month, why do you think it's so important? And especially for our culture too.
Yes. I think I look at Mental Health Awareness Month like Black History Month, right? I was like,
okay.
It's like this is all year long.
Yes.
Like, we need to honor and acknowledge this. But however, I am very grateful that we do have a month aside to talk about it and raise more awareness, because within Mental Health Awareness Month, you know, we have conversations, just how we're having a conversation about it now. Like, people have conversations about it. People have events around mental health awareness. They do different things to kind of put it out there more within this month. So I think that it's important to talk about it, because it's not talked about enough. And so, especially in our community, especially in the Black community, I think we have to start having these conversations, not only with, you know, in the public, but with our families, with our friends, with our partners, with our loved ones, because like, it's so important to just simply check in with each other, just figure out like what's going on, because like you said, we see people every day and you don't know what's going on, what they're battling with. And that's why it's so important to just be kind to people, because you never know. So I think it's important for us to just be aware of that. And then just with Mental Health Awareness Month, I think it's a time to take care of yourself like any other month, but do something like challenge yourself this month that maybe you couldn't do, maybe you haven't done throughout the whole year. Like, okay, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. What is something that I can do for myself to take care of my mental?
So I was going to ask you that next, how important it is to do something for yourself every day. Like, is it important every day you do something for yourself, or is it one of those things that make sure you just take care of yourself? Because we are so used to taking care of others. So
I think it depends on the person. You know, I know some people who are very like just on it, right? Like they're like self-care every day. They got self-care books. They got
self-care drinks.
You know, it's beautiful. They, you know, but some people, you know, forget they have busy lives. They, you know, it slips. It's okay. We get busy. But what I will say is, at least, and I had a conversation about this the other day at work about doing self-check-ins. Because we check in with other people, like, you know, we check in with our moms, our friends. How you doing? How was your day? Yes. But I think even if we don't practice some type of self-care, just check in with yourself. You know, what does that look like? Okay, you might say, what does that look like? A self-check-in could just be to stop for a second and just breathe and just reflect on whatever has been on your mind, and just figure out, or also to figure out, what emotion are you feeling, or what emotion have you been feeling all week? Yes. Have you been feeling overwhelmed? Have you been feeling stressed out? Have you been feeling angry? Or maybe, you know, whatever the emotion is, like, try to stop and then really feel that emotion, like, feel it. Let it ride out. Like, let it just flow through. But then also don't sit in it too long. Like, figure out, what do you need to do to fix that? What do you need to do to make yourself feel better? Instead of suppressing it. So a daily check-in could be like first thing in the morning when you wake up, before you even start your day. Or it could be at the end of the day. Like, once you're done with your hectic day, check in with yourself. How are you feeling today, Aya? What went wrong? What went right? What could I do better tomorrow? And that's it. Okay. And I think that's just a simple way to kind of just start to just tap in with yourself. Yeah. Like, tune in with yourself. I think that's a part of mental health, is just being in tune with who you are, and what you're doing, and like what you're experiencing. Because, like I said, we get so caught up in our routines, our day to day, that we forget to do that sometimes. So that's a start, you guys, to just check in with yourself. If you can't do something like self-care every day, you know.
Do you do a self-care? Do you try your best?
I try.
Because you preaching now. But do you do it?
I try. I do my check-ins. But as far as something active, I'm a work in progress, like everybody, you know. And so there's days that I'm really on it, and there's days I'm not. And so I challenge myself, just like I challenge my clients and my friends and my loved ones, to just do better. Just try, you know. But don't be too hard on yourself if you don't do it. Yeah. That makes sense, you know, because it's just like, it's okay.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
It's okay. And for me, self-care is watching one of my favorite shows. I'm not gonna lie. It don't have to be it doesn't have to be
something
like
what you want to do.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like super intense workout, or, you know, whatever, you know, just something drastic.
People do.
You could baby step it. Whatever it is that you feel is taking care of yourself. Going to get your nails done, getting your pedicures, ladies. guys, going to get your hair cut because, when you look good,
You feel good.
you feel good.
Yes.
So doing those things is self-care. So,
Okay.
do you do self-care? Do you practice self-care?
I've been trying, I said every time I get paid, but I was going to say that. But honestly, every week I've decided to do something for myself. Like I went to like Nays Tacos yesterday and had a me time. I had a drink and I had my.
Oh, I love those.
Yes, I had a drink and I had food and I was just like me.
Self-dates.
Yeah, self-dates. I had a self-date yesterday. So I don't know, that kind of made me feel good. So when I got home and, my boyfriend is all walking around, you could interact when you had your me time a little better. Like still coming home from a hard day. I work in ER. I work in trauma areas. Yeah, open them questions. But I felt like when I had my me time, I was able to, I felt good.
Yeah, I do those often. Some people be like, you can go to get some food by yourself. Yeah, if I have a taste for that, I'm gonna
go by myself. People used to be
go.
scared of that, but I don't think we scared of it no more. It's okay to be alone sometimes.
It is. Just go make sure be mindful. Check your surroundings.
Yeah.
Make
Oh
sure you're
yeah.
Cool. Don't
nobody
go
got
too
time.
late, guys.
Yeah. Let's do a daytime.
Yeah, daytime.
Even daytime is crazy, but like you said, check your
Check
surroundings.
your surroundings. Be mindful and aware of everything that's going on. But that's definitely important.
Okay, so what has been your journey so far as a therapist?
Oh, my journey as a therapist. So many feels. So we have very rewarding, exciting, challenging, hard, fun, so many different things. But I feel like my journey has. I'm still learning. I would say I'm still learning as I'm going, but